When he took over at Liverpool, Arne Slot stepped into a whirlwind of challenges. Faced with late player arrivals from international duty, the club's disappointment of missing out on top transfer targets, and of course, the Herculean task of filling Jurgen Klopp's shoes, the Dutchman had his work cut out for him. Yet, his Liverpool side has made a flying start in the Premier League. With a renewed intensity that makes them downright scary to face, what has been behind Slot's Liverpool transformation? Transitioning from his successful stint at Feyenoord, Slot's appointment felt like a huge gamble given he hadn't managed outside the Netherlands. On top of that, there's also the history of mixed results of Dutch managers in the Premier League. However, Liverpool's management was sold by his attacking style and track record for outperforming his resources. The end of last season was quite a nightmare for Liverpool, characterized by passivity at the back and frustrating wastefulness up front. Remember those 2 trips to Old Trafford in the spring? Klopp's side were leading in both matches before collapsing like a house of cards, suffering a gut-wrenching 4-3 loss in the FA Cup and a 2-2 league draw that all but ended their title hopes. So, with the new season underway, what does Slotball actually look like? In their opener against Ipswich Town, there were hints of slow build-up play and backline passing, but just when you thought you had them figured out, they shifted gears. Liverpool showcased a dynamic style, frequently switching play, going long and direct, and executing razor-sharp central passes, tactical variations that were on full display during their 3-0 thrashing of Manchester United. But the real magic has emerged from the midfield trio of Ryan Gravenberch, Alexis McAllister, and Dominic Szoboszlai, with a key reason for their signings last summer being their ability to perform multiple roles. By splitting Szoboszlai and Gravenberch, the 2 more athletic and ball-carrying midfielders, into half spaces on either side of the pitch, they have been able to exploit turnovers, often catching opposition fullbacks out of position when doing so. Slot's strategy focuses on a solid defense. So far so good since they haven't conceded a single goal in the first 3 games. But at the same time, he's also keen on constantly posing a threat in attack. His version of a 4-2-3-1 formation is a breath of fresh air compared to Klopp's more rigid 4-3-3, where roles were pretty much fixed, even if there were slight tweaks based on opponents. While Klopp's system had its merits, the lack of rotation was evident and unsurprising given the use of a single pivot, with the number 6 holding his ground and the 2 number 8s sticking to their lanes. In contrast, Slot empowers his forwards to occupy specific spaces while allowing for a delightful dose of freedom, with Mohamed Salah being the biggest beneficiary of this newfound flexibility. In training too, the team focuses on various patterns of play, emphasizing quick 1-2s and overlaps on the wings, leading to low crosses across the 6-yard box that sends defenders into a cold sweat. The hallmark of a successful Slot team is unpredictability. If he gets his tactics right, opponents will struggle to pin them down due to their frequent formation shifts during matches. Liverpool's setup resembles a 4-2-3-1, but morphs into a 4-2-4 when they press high. With a double pivot in place no matter the situation, the defense is better protected, paving the way for a more fluid and balanced attacking style. Slot is also helped by a front 3 that's absolutely on fire. Salah's smile could not be wider as he's kicked the season off with 3 goals and 3 assists in just 3 games. Meanwhile, Luis Diaz seems to have found his clinical edge. Last season, he didn't hit 3 Premier League goals until November, but this time round, he matched that total before halftime at Old Trafford. And let's not forget Diogo Jota, whose quality and intelligence tie everything together at the top of the pitch. With this trio clicking, and the prospect of more rotation players making an impact off the bench, Slot's vision starts to look more like a masterpiece than a work in progress. By the way, if you're enjoying the video so far, subscribe so that you don't miss out on our future videos. During the interviewing process for Klopp's replacement, Liverpool had made a list of its players who needed a wake-up call to rediscover their form after finishing last season poorly. Upon his appointment, Slot wasted no time holding one-on-one meetings with these players. Take Ibrahima Konate for example. He lost his starting spot to Jarrell Quansah and didn't play a single minute for France at the Euros. Recognizing Konate's strengths, especially his knack for winning first contacts at set pieces and his speed against counterattacks, Slot made a bold decision at halftime against Ipswich Town, bringing him on in place of Quansah. Slot's decision wasn't about singling out Quansah, but rather was a message that he wouldn't shy away from making tough decisions if it meant raising their standards. Through detailed coaching and strong man management, Slot has also transformed Szoboszlai into a dynamic number 8, capable of mixing defensive duties with driving runs and pinpoint passes. But the standout so far has been Ryan Gravenberch. The 22-year-old has been spending extra time honing his defensive skills with assistant coach Johnny Heitinga, who knows him well from their Ajax days, and making the number 6 role his own, leaving Liverpool fans forgetting about Martin Zubimendi's rejected move to Anfield to stay at Real Sociedad. Of course, fixing the misfiring Darwin Núñez is high on Slot's to-do list. The striker hasn't started a game yet, but if Slot can work his magic, he might just become the star everyone had hoped for. One of Slot's major selling points was his knack for developing young players, including those from the academy. Contrary to popular belief, he hasn't sold off the beloved Klopp's kids that helped Liverpool win the Carabao Cup last season. Only Bobby Clark has made a permanent move, while Connor Bradley and Quansah remain in the first team mix. Other promising youngsters like Luis Kumas, Stefan Bajcetic, and Ben Doak have all been loaned to increase game time. Slot has already made it clear that he's comfortable allowing young players to go on loan to develop or increase their value, as he prefers to work with a small but efficient squad. And although Liverpool did offload some non-academy talent in Fabio Carvalho and Sepp van den Berg, both are pushing for regular first-team action, but would otherwise have been fighting for a place on the bench if they had stayed. But this doesn't mean opportunities for young players are gone. After impressing in pre-season, 17-year-old Trey Nyoni, for instance, has been fast-tracked into the first-team environment and has the potential to become a breakout star. Questions still loom for Liverpool. Can they maintain this momentum as the Champions League approaches? What about the contract situations for Salah, Van Dijk, and Trent Alexander-Arnold? Will such looming distractions derail their progress? While these uncertainties remain, one thing is certain. Slot's reign is just beginning, and if this start is anything to go by, we're in for one exciting season ahead. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more football news, stories, and insights. Also, don't forget to hit notifications so you never miss a beat. And with that, we'll see you in the next video.